Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, aka Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my guys, my other hosts, man, my brothers, my compadres. You know these guys right here, left and right. You got Mr. Spiro, Mr. Glass Half Full, forgive me. That is Spee, if you nasty now.
You got ahead of yourself. You got ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to say that part first.
You need to get that out.
I screwed that out, man. I screwed it up, you know? And then I got my guy, Jeff A. Jefe, a.k.a. White Jersey, a.k.a. Blue Jersey, a.k.a. El Chefe, a.k.a. Listen, this is going on for days.
I should have worn the chef hat tonight. That would have been.
You know what, man? A lot of people were requested that. That was a damn good video, by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out, please go over to his page. But
thanks, man.
We have a special guest here tonight, guys.
Yes,
this is going to be a great day. This was brought to you by the people, the Giants family, to everyone out there in our world. We thank you so much for allowing this to happen and hitting her up, and we thank her so much for having her on. But guys, you know what we got in the house? We got Joey Taylor in the house. Give a round of applause. Hold on, not yet.
Let's go.
Hold up.
What's up, Joy?
Hold up. Because Joy is coming on the show. She has an AKA now. This is what New York Revival does. This is Joy. Clap back Taylor. Everybody give it
Let's go.
Joy, clap
Do
back
not
Taylor
mess
in the house,
around.
guys. Definitely. Thank you, Joy, for coming on. We do appreciate your time. Welcome to New York Revival. Thank you so much. How's everything going?
Thank you for having me. That was quite the intro.
We don't mess around. We're not messing around.
No, don't mess around. But let me tell you, man, Joy is from the herd. Joy is from Undisputed. Joy is everywhere. She got her own pod. Everything is happening, guys. You should know who Joy Taylor is. You sanction this. You guys, you called for this. But thank you so much, Joy. What we do first is kind of go around the room, get the feel. How was everyone's weekend? So, Jefe, I'm going to start with you, man. How was your weekend?
Weekend was great, man. It was Mother's Day, right? Got some good family time. Yes. Shout out to all the moms. Great weekend, family weekend. I can't complain. Got a video out today. We got Joy Taylor. What's not to be happy about today? Good
Totally
vibes.
Agree. Spee.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was a little let down because Saturday it was supposed to be a sports bonanza day. The Mets and Yankees get rained out. The Kentucky Derby, which we'll talk about later, Joy. We got to talk about Kentucky Derby. Was awesome. Didn't win any money, which, got me a little perturbed. But, game 3 of the Rangers, I was all jacked up. They got smoked. And then Canelo got put up a shitty fight at the end of the night. So I was like, all right, I was all geared up. Saturday was a letdown. Monday was a very beautiful Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Shout out to my wife. And weather was shitty, but we got through it. But now we got Joy, and now everything is well in the world. Let's go.
And of course, no one wants to hear from any of us, so I'm gonna just go right to Joy. Really, Joy, how was your weekend? How was everything? Let the people know what's going on.
I had a pretty solid weekend. I was in Miami. I went and gave the commencement speech at my alma mater, Barry University, and received a Doctorate of Humane Letters. Nice. So I got an honorary doctorate.
Nice.
And I got to spend some time with my family. And I also went to F1. I went to the Formula One race.
Oh, yes.
Whoa. And you had a better weekend than we did.
Yeah.
It was a solid weekend. It was a solid weekend.
That's probably normal for you.
It was fun.
That's just your life. That's just your life, is it not? I mean, you just do cool stuff like that all the time.
It is I will say that. It was fun. No, I mean, I try to I really like going to live events, especially stuff I haven't been to before. So I'm not, traditionally a Formula One fan, but it's in Miami for the first time.
Right.
So
was it awesome? I mean, everybody's telling me to get into F1. I'm dying to get into it. How was it being there? Worth getting into?
I'm getting into it now.
Yeah, right.
It's really cool. It's I did not realize how many fans there were of Formula One. I guess, we're just like dumb Americans, so we don't pay attention to anything that happens around the world. And it's obviously, a very international sport. And when we think of racing, we traditionally think of NASCAR, which is cool and fun too. I've been to some NASCAR races as well. And they're always a good time, but it's, Formula One is just so different, and the track is different. The experience there is different than NASCAR. I mean, obviously Formula One tracks are not,
circles
or wigglies. So, you don't see the whole track and the whole race from wherever you're sitting. So that like kind of changes the experience too in a different way. So it's really like an experience going to a Formula One race, at least how I did it, which was my intention. So I had fun. I would definitely go again. I want to check out the one in Vegas. I think that's going to be crazy.
Yes.
The one in Vegas, if you look at, because I looked it up after I went to the Miami one, the track is actually on
the strip, right? It's wild.
That's pretty dope.
Oh, that's wild.
That's
wild.
Intense right there.
It's crazy.
That's
so
wild.
I don't know how they're going to build that out. It seems like traffic in Vegas is going to be really terrible for a while, but you can't leave. Like there's no way wherever you are watching the race. And I imagine you'll be able to watch the race from your hotel room.
Right.
It's on the strip.
That'd be freaking dope.
It's going to be crazy, but you're not going to be able to leave. Like,
yeah, right.
You're going to be stuck there. Don't have anywhere to be for like 3 days.
Right.
Which can go many different ways in Las Vegas, as you know. So, but it'll be cool. So I liked it. It was definitely like a good experience. I want to get into it more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think Miami was the perfect place for that event because it's such an international city. It's so easy to get to from Europe. So I think it's going to grow. It's really big with like young 20, like that 20 to 25 range of human. Like that, it's really like exploding.
That
I don't know
Netflix show came out.
So, like I don't feel old, but like younger than me. And I think the Netflix show really gave it a big boost because when you get into a new sport, or to at least to Americans, we want to understand it. We want to know who to be invested in because that's what makes sports fun. Like obviously, you can understand functionally the sport, but not really have any emotional ties to it. And that's really what sports is pulling out the emotion.
Right.
You can watch something and think like, oh, this is a cool race, but I don't understand like, why is this guy dirty? Or, why are we rooting for this guy? Why do we care about Red Bull racing over Mercedes? So you got to kind of do some digging into all of that. And, but I think it's worth it. It was fun. It was fun. It was a cool experience. And, that's just another thing you can watch and gamble on.
It's right before football every Sunday, they say. So that's going to lead me right to football. And I need that something in the morning. And apparently overseas, it's always in the morning. So I need that in my life.
My man is a gambler over here. Gambling expert.
Degenerate gambler, right?
Hey.
Shout out to you, man. No, listen, that is awesome, man. That sounds like a great time. So, but Joe, we want to get into a couple things, man, and congratulations on your doctorate. I think that's an awesome accomplishment. So it should be Dr. Joy Taylor at this point. I guess we should call you that.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go by doctor because I don't.
It's there now, though.
I think I'm a medical doctor because I'm not. You should still call 911 immediately. I cannot help you, but I do. I mean, a lot of people that get honorary doctorates go by doctor. So I did some research on it, all jokes aside, because, obviously I'm choosing not to go by Dr. Joy, but
until now,
but you are official.
They give honorary doctorates in lieu of your traditional education. So essentially it's for career services. So like, you wouldn't get this type of education if you were in school.
Gotcha.
Right. Mm-hmm. But because of your career accomplishments, you could be considered this level of experience. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So while it's not a traditional, like I went to school and earned this doctorate through traditional education, they are giving it to me and to the other honorees who got doctorates because of the contributions to the community and to their career. So however you want to look at that, if you feel like it's worth calling someone a doctor, I feel like certainly the people that got the honorary doctorate with me have been doing like 40 years of civil rights work and, all these incredible, contributions to society. So I felt very humble that, anyone would consider me in that space. But yeah, it's a huge honor. It's very cool. And I didn't realize it was a bucket list thing until I was doing it. I'm like, man, I'm giving a commencement speech. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's like Denzel does.
Yeah. Were you like, how did I get here? What just happened?
No. It was a very surreal moment. But I really had a good time in school. I actually learned a lot at my university about the business and like how to, technically do everything. So I really feel like I got an actual education in what I'm doing now because of going to Barry. So
hey, they don't just hand out doctors to know everybody here. So give yourself some credit too.
Yeah, give yourself some credit. Exactly.
You're accomplished. I'm a doctor.
There it is. There it is.
So Joy, you grew up in Pittsburgh. Tell us about your upbringing a little bit. Just tell us about what's growing into Pittsburgh. Also heard that you was also like a homeschooled as well to a certain amount. So just want to know, just take me through a little bit of that journey of growing up there.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Pittsburgh. I lived in Pittsburgh until I was 18. And I mean, I love Pittsburgh. It's a very
awesome.
It's a huge sports town. Obviously, everyone lives and breathes football and all the sports teams there, high school football. And so I just grew up around everyone talking about sports, following sports, playing sports. I played soccer, volleyball, ran track, and played basketball. So I was
a jock.
Did you sleep? Like, did you have time to sleep?
Jesus,
I always had time to sleep. One thing about me, I'm a very sleepy person. I wish I wasn't so sleepy because I feel like I have so much stuff I always have to do, and I'm like, man, this is gonna have to wait because I'm tired. So I'm gonna need a nap. I don't know. I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have any pets. So I don't know where all my energy goes. Or maybe I'm just, I've always been sleepy though, so it's not even that I'm getting old. But I'm like one of those people that can nap anywhere. So I took many naps at gyms and at track meets on the bus.
I'm jealous.
Even when you were young, you take naps, even like in high school and stuff at track meets.
When I was young, when I was in high school, everyone would always like make fun of me for how much I would sleep, and they'd be like, "You'll grow out of it when you get into college." And then I was in college, and I was sleeping, always a very important thing to me. And they're like, "Oh, you'll get out of it when you start working."
Oh, can you get that magic potion and put it on my son, please? Because he needs to start napping.
I need it. I don't know. It's like all this energy in my little body is like, it needs to recharge. But no, so then I was also homeschooled. I was homeschooled until my junior year of high school because my dad was a religious zealot. So when my parents divorced, that's when I started going to the public school. But it was kind of a weird, not traditional transition into school because I played sports for the local public school, like the public school in my school district, Woodland Hills. So I knew like half the people at school through sports because I was always at the school for sports from like 7th grade. And so when I started going there my junior year, so it wasn't like I was like the new kid, but like only to half the kids there, right? Because I had already, met or interacted with most of the students through whatever sport it was, or bands, or whatever extracurricular activity I was doing at the school. So, but yeah, so then I graduated from Woodland Hills High School. In my freshman year of college, I actually went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania and ran track there on scholarship. Nice. So I was recruited in soccer and track to a couple different schools. I had narrowed it down to Kent State and IUP, and ended up going to IUP. And
hold on, Joy, real quick. What was your track and field event? What was
Sprint.
Your Sprints. What was your 100? What was your 100 time?
I do not remember. I'm sure it was embarrassing.
I just want to see where I'm at. I ran track too. I was just trying to.
I don't remember. I mean, I was good. I was good. Yeah. I preferred the relays though. I really enjoyed the 4x1, even the 4x4. I hated.
Is it because you was like sleepy and you just wanted to have somebody else run?
Here, you take this.
Like the relay was kind of a flex, Like if you ran track, if you ran the 4x1, you know what I mean. Your 4x1 team was good. You a flex on people.
That's a fun race. Mm-hmm. It's all about the handoffs. That's a really fun race.
Yeah. And then you be warming up. Yeah. So I liked doing the relay. I hated the 400, and I did not like the 200. I never had the thighs for the 200. You got to have them thighs.
I had chicken legs, and I was a 400 guy. I'm just saying. Yeah. I was a big 400 guy. Hold on, real quick. I just wanted to give a shout out. There's a bunch of people in the chat, and we thank you. But Authentic is a big fan of yours. He's a good friend of ours, and he loves your show. We had a good question coming here because you're talking about your career, all the success you had, and this is kind of an interesting question. If you weren't in your current role at your current gig, what do you think you'd be doing? Or did you just have blinders on? This is what I want to do. Or what would be your plan B if this didn't work out?
If I wasn't on television, I would be a professional artist. which I did for a while. I worked as a professional muralist for a while.
Oh, that's dope. See, that's some stuff we didn't know.
Any of your work that you post? Because we like to see some of this stuff. This is great.
I posted some stuff a while ago. I don't think I have anything up here.
I like that sign behind you. Totally unrelated.
Oh, thank you.
Love it.
Oh, nice.
So
and the bobblehead. The bobblehead might actually outlast the sign right there. See, that's dope. Yeah.
See, this is the part where Joy is flexing like, yeah, I got all these stuff, guys. That's because I'm the ish. So I got
she's big time. She's big time. Oh, is this my bobblehead? Oh, where'd that come from?
I got some stuff, you know.
Oh wow!
There it is.
Flashing.
No, actually, I don't have any of my work up here, but I have posted stuff before. I'm actually very proud of this one. This is from CCNN, which is a high school in Miami, and best use of social media is the award.
Let's go. Congrats, man. So let me say this, Joey, because we had Mother's Day, etc. that went by. There was something in the news, man, with Chris Paul, where actually he got his mom or his sister, etc., got pushed or hugged or whatever it was by a fan, and Chris Paul lost his mind. We're gonna think about it from a different angle, because the kid kind of looked fairly young, according to some people out there that would say. Do you think Chris Paul was out of line for saying, "Hey, I'm gonna see you soon," to a young kid that's probably half his age at this point? Do you think he crossed that line there?
No, because in the moments, Chris just heard someone pushed his mama. So, he's going to react however any of us would react to that news, which is probably not well.
Yeah, not calm.
Clap back. Right. That's
There's a lot of like varying stories about what happens. What it kind of is boiled down to from all the different, like that weird Mavericks press release talking about unwanted hugs, whatever that was.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like, that's the terminology that she landed on. Okay. And then, then there was like another report. Obviously, the original ones was she got pushed and his wife got pushed and like the kids were there. And it's the whole scene. And then like someone kept tapping her, his mom, and like they were drunk. At the end of the day, someone was touched and did not desire to be touched.
Yeah.
Like that's all I need to hear. Right. Like as a woman, I deal with this all the time, and I talked about it on the show today. I was taking a selfie with someone once, which like obviously I'm happy to do. I'm blessed that anyone even wants to take a picture with me. But like you taking a selfie, you're kind of close to somebody. Obviously, you got to get your faces in the picture. So after I take the selfie with him, I'm like kind of in this vulnerable position. And he just like kissed me on the top of my head. I'm like, ew, dude.
That ain't it.
And like, I'm by myself. I'm in downtown LA. So I gotta choose my safety over how I really want to react in this situation. So I just get up out of there, but I'm like, what are you doing, dog? Like,
it's just awkward.
It's so weird. It's a weird thing to do. First of all, so invasive. But like, for me, I just feel like I'm not a big stranger toucher. I really don't like to be touched by strangers. So I like go to the club and I'll sit right up on my little perch.
Yeah, right.
Right there with everybody else in front of me. And it's not like I'm not being a snob or anything. I don't like, I don't like that. But it's more about like this entitlement that people have now, where people feel like they're entitled to certain things with people. And it makes no sense to me. Like you learn this in kindergarten, keep your hands to yourself, right?
Right.
We learn this when we're this big, that it's not appropriate.
Shout out Yo Gabba Gabba. Taught my kids.
You learn when you're very young that you don't touch people without their permission. We know that. So like this idea that like, because someone's drunk, like, oh, they're drunk. Like you can't just do whatever you want because you're drunk. That's like there's laws that say you can't do that. So it's not like I'm just telling you can't act that way. We all know everybody does a little extra stuff when they're drunk. We know that.
Not me.
He's just He's just hands up.
She's talking to you guys.
Oh, you guys.
I just felt like it's a weird conversation. Like I don't understand human adults being like, yeah, but he was just trying to hug her. Like, do you hug people that don't?
No, it's not.
No,
definitely not. Time and a place. That's time and a place.
Definitely
right there.
not. Listen. Look, I think he handled that very, very, very well. You know what I mean? I mean, for the contrary of what I would do, because I'd be like, all right, let me get to that side of
I'm Team
the
Chris Paul
stand, and let me go to yoke something up real quick. But I think he handled it very well for that stare. I mean, no matter what age, you don't really think. You know what I mean? This as a parent, this kid said on my kid's age, he hit me. Who's that little? You know what I mean? So I would think that's just the reaction. You know what I mean? So trust me, I don't mind at all. I think that was a respectable reaction.
I'm on team CP3 all day right there. And what did he? It's not like he went over and punched the guy. He yelled at him. Like, who wouldn't do that in that situation? You're amped up. First of all, you're in a game scenario, so your blood's already pumping, and then something happens back. Anything with your mom. Anything with your mom.
Yeah, mom's off limits. Mom's off limits right there.
Mom, wife, children.
The
you just don't. The
solution doesn't need to be that we have to like quarantine families and stuff because people act crazy. I feel like it's always like, well, why are the families there? Well, why this? Or why that? Like you're asking the wrong questions.
Yeah, right.
Why
Absolutely.
are you capable of leaving your home without disrupting someone else's space? That is the question.
Agreed.
Why do you feel entitled to touch somebody else without their consent? That's what you do. That's what you're into, dog. Like you're into touching people without their permission.
Joey,
you need to talk to somebody about that.
That's a fact. You know what I mean? And I think it's just the person. Like if some big muscle bound dude or Joy Taylor that can kick your ass, you know what I mean? I don't think you'll do it.
I'm not advocating for people to get their ass kicked, but I'm just saying like
you're a better person than I.
You might you might get your ass kicked.
Yes,
that's
happen.
The problem. And then when somebody kicks someone's ass, it's like, well, why are you reacting that way? Like, no, this didn't have to happen. You could
Malice in the Palace,
like a normal person that doesn't touch other people. And I feel like this is a trickle down thing with a lot of things in society that people do this wild behavior, and rather than being like, why are you behaving that way? People get angry at the person who reacts.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
absolutely.
That's crazy. How did we get here? Why is it my responsibility to not react to you violating me?
True. Very true.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed, Joy.
Right. We're on the same page here. Case closed. And one of your shows this week, you said something like, clearly that kid has never been smacked by somebody before. Or like doing the wrong thing.
He looks like he's never been smacked either, though.
And I'm like, nail on the head right there. If that kid was like smacked for doing the wrong thing, you probably would change his behavior. But now,
right. And again, I'm not advocating for violence here. I just think when you have experienced violence, you are very acutely aware that violence is always on the table. So you conduct yourself with a certain decorum. And if you want violence, maybe you'll say something that may induce that. But if you don't, you will diffuse the situation by removing yourself or not doing things that could possibly invoke a violent situation.
Yeah, like I don't think Chris Rock is going and making fun of Jada Smith anymore. I don't think that's happened because he clearly found out what's going to happen by Big Willie.
Let me just dabble a little bit into that because I got mixed reactions when I posted my opinion on it. But was Will Smith in the wrong for giving Chris Rock that little tap on the cheek there?
Oh, that was a tap, all right.
I think that he felt that he was right in that situation. He felt triggered, and he clearly felt like he was ready to deal with the consequences of whatever was going to happen in that moment. So whatever, I don't think that I don't think it's appropriate to smack someone in the face at the Oscars.
Facts.
I don't.
Well, let me say this: if it doesn't matter where it's at, right? So if someone violates you, is there a perfect? No,
I do think it matters where it's at. I do think it matters where it's at, and I do think it matters who you are. Will Smith ain't no gangster.
Yeah,
no. We all know.
He's just from Philly. That's Philly.
He's getting jiggy with it.
We've never treated Will like this. We've never treated Will like that. Will Smith's not Sidney Poitier.
Right.
You know, there are levels to this here, and it's not that I'm saying that you should disrespect Will Smith. He's had an incredible career. It's not that. Like, he's there at the Oscars to win an Oscar. But I do think that certain situations call for certain things. If you really felt disrespected, do you handle that there in that moment for the show?
Nope, like, the after party. You go up to him.
So maybe you handle it publicly. Okay. Right. Or maybe you handle it in a way that actually has real results for the person that you feel disrespected you.
Yeah.
Like had he done it that way, he might have actually really done something to Chris in that moment.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And I also feel like if you're gonna sit there and key at everybody else getting made fun of, so you cool with everybody else?
Play.
Yeah, exactly. You're sitting front row the Oscars. Come on.
Then it comes to you. I mean, listen, what he said about Jada was disrespectful. There's no
for sure
two ways about it. And when you talk about a Black woman's hair on top of that, which is a whole nother level of sensitivity, like that's I didn't feel like the joke was funny, nor did I feel like it was respectful or appropriate. And I don't really get why we roasting people at the Oscars anyway. It's not, I don't get that.
Yeah, it's
same. Like I just think that
if you want to make fun of yourself, if you want to make fun of like, you know, the Hollywoodness of it all or something, like that's one thing. So I guess I'm split on it as well. People have been smacked for less. But
that's true.
I was surprised he actually did it.
But I do think if you're going to do that, if you are going to do that, I don't think I need a whole explanation parade. Like you did that.
Yes.
I smacked him. That's it.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah, it's done. I totally agree.
Question. All right,
but
question for you.
I will say this. Don't try that with me. Nope.
Done.
I'm not going to be there. There's not going to be Joy is not home. I don't care if it's the Oscars. I don't care where we are. Forget all that.
Game over.
You don't care what you
listen. He took it like a champ, Chris Rock. Again, I would have reacted differently to someone putting their hands on me. But I give him respect, man. That's a lot of restraint.
What was going up there to do?
Yeah, he was smiling.
Dude, that's the crazy thing to me.
If you're from the environment, you should know how someone walks and that energy a little bit. You're like, oh,
he came up.
I was in Paris. I was in Paris when it happened, and I was watching him walk up there, and I was like, I knew from the moment he stood up, it wasn't fake. I'm like, what did he think was going to happen? I know that walk.
Yeah, it was on as soon as he got up. It was on as soon as he got up.
You're like, yo, hold on, man. I'm about to swing. And listen, we'll talk about that, Joy. And this is great because we're getting that inside of Joy. Nobody knows Joy is tough as cookies. Like that's Joy grew up in those environments, so don't try that with Joy. But I'll say this, baby. Absolutely, I'll say this, Joy, because it is a giant show, and they do need your opinion.
Yes,
the draft happened. We drafted Kayvon Thibodeaux, and of course we got Evan Neal. Just give us your thoughts on it. What do you grade that first round? Not the entire, but the first round of the Giants. What do you think? What grade did you give it?
I really like the Giants draft. I thought the Giants first round draft was one of the top drafts in the league. I thought they did a good job. I'm really not sure what the Giants are going to be this year. I'm not in on Daniel Jones at all. I mean, clearly they aren't either. They didn't pick up his option. But, I mean, he's had moments here and there, but he's not it. And I think they were a little too patient with him to begin with. Mm-hmm. Now, the Giants have been, no offense, but a little bit of a bleep show for a while now.
Yeah, these are just facts.
I mean, it's unfortunate because I'm one of those people that still believes in those cornerstone teams need to be competitive for the league to be whole. I don't think it's a good thing that there's no New York team, there's no LA team in the playoffs right now. Now the ratings aren't reflecting that, so maybe it's my coastal bias in this situation. But I just think that you need those cornerstone teams and those big cities involved in the the competitive nature of leagues. And it's one thing if it's 1 year. But if it's a habitual thing, where the Jets and the Giants are down bad,
it's not good.
I need to figure it out. What's going on up there? But I like the Giants as a brand. I think they've found ways to figure it out before. So I like the new head coach. Hopefully they'll be able to get it right within the next couple years. But, as with anybody, you need a quarterback. So hopefully they'll be drafting someone next year. It feels like they're building, they're putting the building blocks in place to be able to bring in a young quarterback, which I think they'll do next year when they move off of Daniel Jones, who's a placeholder at this point.
Yeah. I mean, so I got a question for you. So Thibodeaux, he's a star. He's got that star personality in New York. I'm pretty excited for it, but he went for that number 5. I like it. Now, what's your number? Everybody's got a number. You played sports. what's your number, and that you had to have every time you went into a new sport?
Well, I had a couple numbers because I was obviously a Michael Jordan zealot, so I'd always try to get 23, but I'm short and little, so I would not get first dibs on the jerseys for that reason. So because they'd always be like, let's save the small ones, for the little people. So I could never get 23. Sometimes I would get 33, which I like to wear because that was my brother's number in high school and college was 33. So I do 33, but my number was 2. I'd always wear 2.
Nice. Okay. Everybody's got to have that. Hey, star, do you think he's going to be a star as this Thibodeaux guy? He's got that personality.
I feel like the only pushback on Thibodeaux was just that he was very organized with his brand. Like it was a lot of conversations about branding and all that. And I'm like, so?
He's been groomed for this.
Yeah, like can he play? Who cares what he does with his business? If he shows up and plays, it doesn't matter if he has a good business sense. I mean, I talk about the NIL all the time, and it just the whole concept of people freaking out about it drives me insane because I'm like, all we talked about for so long was how athletes had no concept of money. They were getting taken advantage of left and right. We had a whole 30 for 30 broke, excellent 30 for 30. Just sad story after sad story of athletes not knowing what to do with their money and how got to take advantage of it and shady investors and all this stuff. Now kids can get access to their brands and to make money before they ever hit the league. They're not desperate. They're not looking for, the bag around every corner and are also able to have a concept of their future outside of sports. Yes. And now everybody's freaking out about that. I'm like, you know what? I don't really know. I don't know what y'all are up to, but you can't be mad at everything. Like this
they always are mad at something. Every side.
And listen, and let me add this too, Joy, because it's not in the notes, but Kadarius Toney also has been a part of the news for a while. I think a lot of people misunderstand him. I think because the way where he's from, his vernacular. But what do you think? The guy doesn't show the voluntary. Our Giants community rips this guy apart. You know what I mean? So, but what do you think of that? Like, what do you think of him as the person, Kadarius Toney? You think he's a baller or whatever the case is? But I know they ripped this poor kid apart. But what did he do?
He didn't show up to
optional training. The OTAs. It's just
correct
after a weird rookie season too.
Yes.
I mean, the voluntary workout thing, like I feel like it's tough because it's sort of one of those things in college, like you played college sports and it's like it's voluntary, but it's not really voluntary.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's voluntary, but it's understood you need to be there. I think especially for young players, being at those workouts is important. Like if it's I really don't even like that Aaron Rodgers didn't go to voluntary workouts. Like he don't have anything to prove, but you have new receivers that you need to get on the same page with, and your season ended terribly. So, I think it depends. It's hard because like, what would I do? Would I show up at voluntary workouts if I didn't have, the season everyone expected me to have? Probably. Yeah. But it's also voluntary workouts. These are professionals. Like I don't do a lot of voluntary stuff professionally anymore.
Well, Joy, these are professionals. Why do they have voluntary? Why is it voluntary at all? These are guys that are paid so much money and like so much is on the line. If they're supposed to be at work, make it mandatory. Like why?
Well, that's my point. Like if I'm asked to do something for work that's not mandatory, what is it for? Is it making someone else money? Then I'm not gonna be able to do that. If it's something for a charity, if it's like, a good look for sponsors or things like that, like, everybody has things within their profession that they do that aren't necessarily, they don't have to do them, but it's a good look and it will
for your
help
boss, for your new boss, by the way. Right. New boss in town, and he did not exactly make a good impression. Let's just say that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that. Look, New York's gonna get mad how y'all get mad about things. Sure. But if you show up and play, then it doesn't matter, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. True. If you show up, nobody's gonna remember that you didn't go.
Totally agree. And we also, just to move along too, we had the Kentucky Derby coming up here this week. Speed. Ooh. Break her in, man. Break it down.
I mean, listen. I saw your Twitter page. You were into the Derby, Joy. Tell us what is your? Do you have a Derby day kind of thing that you do, or what happened? But let's talk about Rich Strike, man. 80-1 underdog. I mean,
crazy.
Came out of nowhere. What'd you do for the race?
Like, that's why they call it, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Like, it's crazy. No, it was the second biggest underdog, right, to ever win the Kentucky Derby. Right. Yeah, I still haven't actually physically been to the Derby yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need to get there.
That's on my list for next year. Like I went to Formula One this past weekend, so Derby is next year, and I'm gonna get. I haven't envisioned my hat yet.
It's gonna be big.
It's still percolating. Yeah, I can't tell if it's gonna be like. I've always said I wanted like a 6 foot thing.
Gotta
with,
be
things going out the side. But then I'm kind of a partier, so that might not be the best idea.
Facts, yeah. You're right.
But no, it was exciting. It's been kind of a crazy world, the horse racing world over the past couple of years with everything. So. I'm looking forward to it, and I do work with America's Best Racing, so I have a couple more lives coming up.
Preakness, right?
For the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes, so you check that out.
So the fact that you brought up partying, we're gonna dive into Joy now. We're gonna dive in a little bit more here, guys. This is the part you wanted. Tell us more. What's your favorite city to party in, Joy? And what is the number one drink that you'll go to, that you'll order? The first drink, what it will be?
I usually drink tequila if I'm going to be out. If I have to be out and bounce to different places, I'm going to go with tequila because I love wine and I can drink a lot of wine, but you can't really go to multiple locations with wine. That's not a good idea. So I'll stick with tequila. And that's obviously something that if most people have tequila, and even if it's terrible tequila, at least you can mix it with something and make it less terrible. But no, I mean New Orleans is I think my favorite city in the.
Let's go.
I gotta get there.
Yeah, New Orleans is fun. Yeah, but a lot of people have different takes on New Orleans. Like people be like, oh, New Orleans was dirty. It's a party city.
I'm all about that. Yeah, let's go. Did you go to college? Did you ever go into a frat house? Come on.
New Orleans is not I wouldn't describe it as a frat house.
No, I agree.
It's a cultural place. It's not, you're not going to New Orleans to stroll around and smell the flowers.
No, I don't think
I'm trying to think of a city that I would describe as a beautiful city.
Savannah or a Charlestown or something like that.
Yeah, Charleston. Charleston, South Carolina is a pretty place. It's a little weird. It's got a little too much Southern for me.
Hoity-toity for me.
It's a little too many historical plaques around here. But it is a beautiful. It's a pretty city. It is.
Yeah.
It's a good walking pretty city, and it's clean. So yes, it's kind of like that if the streets weren't as clean and there was more.
I love New Orleans, man.
It's worth going.
To New Orleans just to drink. It's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of culture.
Good food.
Great food. I'm really into history. I like seeing different places and experiencing different places. So I always have a good time in New Orleans.
Great
and
music.
I love music.
The music is so good. I've been there twice, and the music is what I came home with, dude. The live music. Some of the best guitarists I've ever seen were no-name bands playing up there for a tip jar, and these guys were just shredding, unbelievable, great blues, really, really good music.
Yeah, it's fun. And it depends on who you go with and what you do. So my trick for New Orleans is don't go to the Quarter at night.
Yes, don't go down those side streets.
I don't go to the Quarter at night. Anytime I happen to the Quarter at night, I do not come out with good stories. So just go to the Quarter during the day, walk around, get your drinks, see everything. As soon as the sun starts to go down, go on back to the hotel, do you a little nap, shower, reset, and then go over to Frenchman Street at night, and then you're good.
Yep,
there you go.
These are just facts that Joy's telling everybody for your next trip to New Orleans. This is just useful information that you guys got to go.
So let me say this.
That's for newbies.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So let's say this, guys, because my DMs, our mentions, phone calls, text messages, guys, text messages. I got it all when we announced Joy Taylor on this show. And not only that, they want to know a bunch of things. So we're going to do a game here with Joy Taylor. We're going to speed date for you guys. Hey! So this is the time we'll say speed dating with Joy Taylor. We're going to ask all the questions that you guys had asked me. Because, guys, I don't know Joy Taylor that well. It's my sister, but I don't speak to her here. All right? So let's go through it. let's go through it here. So, this is barbershop talk that is based on only. So, guys, here's your pen and paper. Write it down. Because you
ready, fellas.
Could be a match with Joy Taylor. Who knows?
I should have had a graphic ready with some music.
You should have had this ready. What's going on?
Now. Okay,
come on.
So I'm going to give you a couple things here, Joy. Just one word responses. You just got to name that person. It's very easy. Ready? Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Done.
That's a point. That's a point. Skip or Stephen A?
Skip.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go. Loyalty. That shows loyalty, guys.
That's wild to me. I would have lost a lot of money on that one.
Yes. Jay-Z or Biggie?
Ugh.
Got it.
I gotta go. I guess I gotta go Jay. I gotta go Jay-Z.
Okay. Spicy.
Okay.
Spicy.
Drake or Ye?
Drake.
Okay.
Which Ye? Young Ye? The old Ye?
Yeah, old Ye. Always gotta be old Ye.
Give me the old school Kanye. Give me college dropout Kanye.
Yeah, then it's Kanye. But like
nowadays, not so much.
We're taking the collective of Kanye. I'm gonna go Drake.
Fair.
I agree. Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart?
Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Correct answer.
Yeah. Correct answer. Correct. See, she's winning our hearts, guys, and this is our sister. All right. Let's go through your top 5 rappers, dead or alive, Joy. What you got?
Pac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Kendrick.
Ooh.
Like it.
And I did have Kanye on there.
Then he crazied himself off.
Well, I mean, I gotta consider just the music. I'm gonna separate art from artists here for this. But
I don't know.
If I do that, I think I probably would go Kanye.
About to say, I think you might.
But if I was to remove Kanye, I think maybe like a Andre 3000.
I like it. Nice. I like it.
There's some votes for Nas here in the chat.
Yes.
Once you get past your top 3,
right, it gets blurry.
Like you could definitely go Nas, Nipsey.
Yes,
definitely Nip. Oh,
I like J. Cole a lot.
Once
you start, I feel like any list, once you really get past 3, then you start to get in kind
of like the college playoffs. That's everybody starts debating after that at 4th spot.
And whoever's in the 4th spot gets smoked every year.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So please tell me you saw the Heart Kendrick Lamar's new video. Please tell me.
I did. It's great.
My gosh, it had me damn near in tears early in the morning, getting ready for work. It was like, oh my god, like especially when the Nip part came on. But yeah, it's funny you say Nip. Huge fan of Nip. Shout out to Nip. What is your top 5 movies of all time?
So I hate this is my favorite movie. I wish it was cooler, but it just is. Braveheart is my favorite movie.
Ooh, wow. Yes.
I have this weird affinity for like medieval time content.
You said yes.
I don't know why.
That is so surprising.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones kind of a fan. I take it too now.
Yeah, I love Game of Thrones.
Yes,
Game of Thrones is obviously fantasy, but still like theme.
No, it's facts. These are facts. Game of Thrones.
Those dragons are real.
Ruin
Game
my
of Thrones for an hour. So, who's your favorite character on Game of Thrones?
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna
Tell
say.
me about your personality.
Yeah, no. I'm a mountain man. I like the mountain.
Says the big Greek guy.
Crushing skulls.
Well, what was yours, El Jefe?
I'm Stark though. I'm Team Stark. I'm always Team Stark.
I'll go Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Okay. Did you watch?
I don't. I gotta leave the room.
It's a big commitment. It's a big.
No,
commitment.
I'm always Team. Listen, we're Stark, Team Stark over here.
I forgot a lot of their names.
Household,
to be honest
so.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of names. No, it's a big commitment. Like you really got to watch. It's not something you can casually.
What team are we? What team are we over there, Joy?
Cersei is my favorite character.
Oh, fair. Okay, just slitting throats. Just me.
Cersei,
my favorite.
Cersei is a bad bitch, and I don't know why people kept trying her.
Yeah, you're just gonna keep getting death. Just death's coming on everybody.
Definitely dead.
I want to change my answer to Dragon number 2. Actually
no, I mean everyone obviously goes with Khaleesi.
No, that's the easy answer.
But anyway, so Braveheart's my favorite movie.
That's nice.
My second favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. Then
another classic. Yeah.
Then I mean, I think I gotta go to Lion King. I'm a big Disney nerd.
Fair.
The original.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I don't even say that.
Although I did love that Black is King album.
Yes.
One of my favorite albums of all time. And then from there again, it depends.
That 4 or 5 spot gets.
Yeah, I could do 300. Goodfellas.
Great one.
I could do Black or White Men Can't Jump.
Great movie.
Another great one.
Great movie.
Okay. Once I get into the fourth and fifth space, it's like
it's a little muddy.
It's mood, yeah. And I really like comedy too. I'm a big I like to watch TV when I eat lunch. So I'll put on a comedy, a Wedding Crashers or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Old school Wedding Crashers, all good.
Listen,
Friday
is mine.
They couldn't make none of those movies now. Nope.
Yeah, I know. No, nothing.
Definitely not.
It sucks, man. All these comedy movies is just now, because they can't cross that line. It's just, it sucks, man. So one more thing, Joy, and I think people will respect it. You're a huge Verzuz fan for what I've seen. I've done a lot of research. You love Verzuz, especially Locks and Dipset, all that good stuff. We got Onyx and Cypress Hill coming up this month. Ooh. So in honor of the Verzuz, we're going to give you a couple matchups. If we want to know who do you put as the winner. So I would say Justin Timberlake versus Usher. Who you got?
Going R&B on her.
I'm gonna go Usher because Justin Timberlake got weird at what was that Man in the Woods thing?
Yeah. He went off. He went off on a sidetrack over there. I agree. We lost JT for a little bit. We lost.
Yeah, him. We have. But JT's a
talent, There was a time when Justin Timberlake had the whole industry in a chokehold.
Ooh, easily.
Yeah,
acting and
second
singing.
Album,
he just
everything.
That second album, Future Sex Love Sounds, was crazy.
Yes.
Classic. I think.
What?
Yes.
That was nuts. That was nuts. I remember when that song came out. I was like, oh my god. It's like, oh my god. He's out of this world. But I'll go with Usher. We also got Dr. Dre versus Diddy. Who you got?
Also, I will say on the Usher thing, when the Usher Chili thing happened, that was my youth lemonade.
Yes.
We were shook.
Yes. Agreed.
Agreed. Usher and Chili breakup.
That Confessions album, nuts.
Did that knock him down a peg or two? That for you?
Temporarily, yeah. I was not well.
Yes, I hear you.
You were sick?
Because it was chilly and it was too much.
Yeah.
But so Dr. Dre and who?
And Diddy.
The Billionaires Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm trying to think who. I would say Diddy was probably more influential over me. But Dre's done so much. I mean, it's splitting hairs. I guess I'll go Diddy.
Nice. East Coast. So, if you don't mind, because I know you're pressed for time and you got to go in a little bit, but I just want a couple more things. It's 5 minutes of your time. What's the one album that, let's say, if you're on a stranded island, you could take one album with you? What would it be?
Honestly, that Beyonce Black is King album I've listened to probably more than any album ever.
Right.
I don't know if maybe because the movie that she did came out during quarantine, so I was just listening to it over and over again. But no, I listened to I would do that, or I would do Kirk Franklin, God's Property.
Good one. Okay.
I couldn't do some hardcore rap. You know what I mean?
It's too much for the whole time.
You gotta go with Donnie McClurkin, man.
You know what I'm saying? I love that Meg Thee Stallion Plan B song, but I gotta be
yes.
Because I love it. But it's like listening to Hit 'Em Up every morning.
You can't get tone it down.
Not every morning.
Every other morning.
True.
If you're gonna be on an island and you have one album, you gotta go with Donnie McClurkin Live in London and More. You know, you gotta go with something that's just,
you gotta have
you know what I mean?
Some easy listening mixed in there.
Yes,
absolutely. So Joy, really quick. I know we got a bunch of stuff here. There's some Twitter followers that gave some questions, so we're gonna ask some questions here from them. from @photo T3M. If I pronounced that wrong, please forgive me. You guys got to make the Twitter handles a little better. But his question was, what was the most difficult part of hosting a live show? Or what's the most difficult part of hosting a live show?
The most difficult part is for TV, it's really like just making sure that you're doing everything, because there's a lot going on. Like, you got to look at the camera and then have your notes and like make sure you're hitting the break. And then like make sure you know where you're going next. You kind of you have to constantly be making mouth sounds, because you can't really like take a breath, because that that feels like an eternity if you don't have sounds coming out.
Dead air. Oh yeah, nobody likes that dead air.
Dead air, 2 seconds of dead air.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it. That's it. That's it.
Feels like an eternity. So you really have to be prepared. And I mean, you're a little nervous the first time you do it. I was very nervous the first time I was on with Colin, and first time I was on the radio, and it just, you want to do a good job, so you're nervous, and that's like, I think that's a good thing to feel a little bit of nerves, and the only thing that really takes that away is repetition. The more you do things, right, the less you feel any anxiety about it. But the other thing that really helps with being nervous is being prepared. Like, if you went to do a test, I would always cram for tests. But then you have anxiety about like, how did you do on the test? And, like, you probably didn't do as well as you could have done if you would have like prepared over time and studied. And that's just the same thing as doing shows. You're essentially doing a verbal test on whatever it is your content is for the day every time you do a show. Now, who's judging? No one really, because even if you do a perfect show, somebody's gonna have something to say.
Right.
So, you can't pay attention too much to the critics of everything, but that's the toughest part. Is there's just like a lot of moving parts and pieces, and keep continuing to do the content and deliver your thoughts while all those things are going on.
Joy, I know that we're like very much, we're like right up against time. I know you have another interview in like 10 minutes, so we got to let you go. But I just want to thank you, like, genuinely so much for doing this. This means a lot to us. And you said one thing on one of your Twitter spaces, which you should do again. That was cool. But you said something that no matter what career you're going into, you have to know how to write, and you have to be a good writer. And that stuck with me. And I listened for like an hour and a half. And that one line you said stuck with me, because I always believe that you got to know how to write, because no matter what you're trying to do, that is such a powerful skill to have. So that stuck with me. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep watching. Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, that's I talked about that this weekend, because that's something that my professors at Barry would always say to me, and like, you're like, all right, like, I'm not gonna be a writer, but if you can write, you can really create anything. It's not just like writing a script or writing a paper. Writing a well put email is very effective sometimes. You never know when you're going to need that skill. So so yeah, I mean, and I write every day. I write notes. I write all kinds of things every day. So so yeah, I definitely stand by that. That's an important thing, important skill.
Listen, the only thing I know how to do is write music. That's the only thing I'm good at. Everything else is for the birds.
Pretty damn good.
At least I'm good at that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Most people can't do that. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, Joy, this is the part where we kind of wrap up. But before we wrap up, Joy, I want to just talk about a couple of things that was for your podcast, etc. The Pooch Talk. We was trying to figure out what was the Pooch.
Please, we need to know.
And I had to go to my other half, and she was like, "Yeah, it's the fupa," and I'm like, "That's what it's called." But let me tell you the Pooch story, man. Like, just get us through. How was it even coming up with that concept, and what made you come up with that concept? You seem very comfortable in yourself and don't mind. So, what made you come up with that concept?
So, I mean, women are obviously, we're constantly critiquing ourselves more so than we probably ever should, but we're examined all day, every day. So this is how we are. And I mean, men do this too, but like, I don't think men care as much as women do. And we have these like images of what we're supposed to look like. And it's obviously changed. It's not the same as the one magazine that everybody gets now. Like, you have different body types that are exhibited and celebrated more now than before. But there is still sort of this standard that you're supposed to like have this flat stomach and this big ass and these perfect boobs and like skinny little arms and like a long neck, and like there's these manufactured ideas of what you're supposed to look like. And even as an adult woman who knows that most of the most of the stuff you see on the internet.
You can. Yeah, bring it on.
Oh, but none of y'all curse though.
No, you've never watched the show here.
Oh.
There's a lot of bombs that get thrown.
We were being gentlemen.
We're being respectful here.
Don't be PC on my behalf.
Let the shit's an F. Let's go.
Fucking A, Joy, the whole time. Come on.
Hey, go on. Let it rip,
Most of the shit you see on the internet is not real and edited. And like, is it, whatever, who cares if you edit it? So what, this is your brand's, it doesn't matter to me, but it does permeate to your brain. So anyway, women have this idea that we are not supposed to have any, like, nothing below our belly button, like that belly button area to, like, the top of your, kitten box is like supposed to be flat. Like there's nothing.
Great. I'm going to use that all the time.
I don't know. I was trying to come up with some other kind of more appropriate term.
Yes.
For the
travel.
No,
that's perfect. No, that's
perfect.
This got to be a meme to be like, she's like, because this is a soundbite. So Monte,
Kitten
you're watching.
From the belly button to the trap, there's not supposed to be anything, and that's just not reality. Like, we naturally have a little bit of cushion there because that's where children are supposed to go if you have children. So it expands, and like anytime you eat something, it goes there. Anyway, so we live our lives around this little area on our body. Like, if the dress looks weird there, we don't wear it. If the jeans make it look bigger, we don't wear it. Like, we're obsessed with it. We have Spanx and this whole thing, and it's exhausting. So one day I asked a young friend of mine who was like, I don't know, like 22 or something, like the age that would like care about that. Like, you get into older men, they don't care what you got going on, stretch marks, whatever, hair, just it's all good, baby. It's all good. Don't worry about none of that. Bring it on over here. Like, that's my kind of man. I ain't trying to worry about the nails matching and all that. They do, but like
they do for the record.
Yeah, they do for the record. But if I need a man. But
yes.
So I asked him, like, he's 20, he's young, he's somebody that would like pay attention to this. So I asked him, I was like, do guys have conversations about, this part of a woman's body? Like, this is it, no context. Like, I just asked him that, and he was like, what do you, I don't understand what you're talking about. Why is that a specific part that matter? I was like, have you ever talked about that area? Like, she's like, got a little too much going on there. It's too much. Like, do guys talk about that? He's like, I've never talked about that with any guy ever. I've never even looked at a woman in that particular space. Like,
we were shocked.
And he was like, and even if I did like happen to look there, I'll just be like, I don't know, that's where babies go. Like, I would not like look at a woman and be like look for that and think that that's weird. Like, that's what y'all look like. And I was like, and then it just became like a thing where I just started asking men, and every man to a man was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're all weird and crazy. And two, like, if you were like a little bigger there, that's not like, that's what you're supposed to look like. Like, that's what women look like.
Right.
So we have imagined this idea in our brains that we're supposed to be like
a flat board.
Or like indented, and that men really care about this. And in fact, women are the only ones that care about this.
This is a fact.
And so that was really the conversation. It was like, have you ever like talked about this? And the more like I talked about it, the more I realized like we are a little bit crazy about this. And I mean, it's fair. Like, there's a reason we are like this. We have been gaslit by the, beauty and fashion industry into thinking that it should not be there. So real or imagined, this insecurity is a thing. But yeah, like, I don't know. Have you guys ever had a problem with that area? Like,
I will say the one time I thought about it and I saw about it is on a man, Chris Christie, when he was wearing these too tight pants, and that part came out, and I was just like, that shouldn't be there. That shouldn't be there.
He has no insecurities.
There's no baby there.
He gonna wear his boots, honey.
Yes.
Yep. He gonna wear
he rocks that
pants. You gonna see this Pooch?
Yes, he let it all out. Everybody's seen it.
So, Joy, I know I have literally one more minute, but I want to say this: the Joy Taylor Foundation Tell us about it. We've seen the girls flag football league that you was a part of.
Awesome.
Let's tell a little bit about that foundation. How did it come about, and what future endeavors you have going on with it? Oh, did I lose it?
I think we lost her. Hello, Joy.
I'm here.
Oh,
perfect.
Oh, we
Okay.
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Oh no, good.
You were asking about the Joy Taylor Foundation?
Yeah,
Yes,
the Joy Taylor Foundation.
please.
We saw you guys had a something with flag football with all girls, which is awesome. Especially I have a daughter that loves sports. So just tell us a little bit about how it started and what's the future endeavors that are going on with the Joy Taylor Foundation and that flag football league.
So I've been doing nonprofit work for a long time, and I used to do a lot when I was in Miami, hosting and volunteering, and some advocacy work for a lot of foundations there, including my brother's foundation, who's having his event next Friday. So I'm going back to Miami to host his event next Saturday. But I just kind of wanted to establish something that would umbrella everything that I was doing. Around the country with different groups and different organizations. I'm a domestic violence survivor, so I do a lot of work with awareness and working with groups that help provide services for domestic violence survivors. And I also do a lot of work with a homeless advocacy group, a couple of homeless advocacy groups out of LA, but specifically Beauty to the Streets, that does work with the community in Skid Row here in LA, which is obviously very well known for their massive homeless population, which has grown significantly, obviously, with the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And also, opportunities for young people, like the flag football camp that I did with Dr. Jen Welter, who obviously was the first female coach in the NFL under Bruce Arians in Arizona. And she's obviously, she's completely dedicated her life to, advancing women in sports and specifically in football. So I wanted to do something for the Super Bowl. Was here in LA. And, when the Super Bowl comes to town, obviously there's a lot of big events and fancy people and a lot of money and stuff going on. And sometimes they just, tend to forget that there's a community of people here too that are, not going to get to experience all those events and not going to get to go to the actual game. So I wanted to do something here specifically for girls who are, interested in football, with the game being here. So we put together an all girls football camp for girls ages 8 to 18 in South Central, and wanted to be able to, give them an opportunity to learn more about football and to see just different women who are involved in sports and the different opportunities. I think that representation is very important, and people being able to see themselves in spaces that they aren't traditionally in or never imagined that they could be in. And when it comes to opportunities in sports, for men and women, there are so many jobs and opportunities in sports that aren't just on air or, playing the game, that are available to you if you are, someone who loves sports, who wants to work in sports. There's so many different kinds of jobs. There's so many different corporate jobs. So you can work for a team, and you can be a PR person, you could be an executive, you can, and for networks as well. So, we have my boss, Amy Leone, come down. She's the head of talent at Fox Sports. Another one of my bosses, Terry Hines. She's the head of PR for all of Fox, come down. So, we had a bunch of different women from different networks there as well representing. So female trainers, obviously female coaches and players. So, I think it's important for young people to be able to see that and see that, there's opportunities there for you. You don't have to just be an athlete. If you are an athlete, amazing. But if not, there are other opportunities for you, no matter what it is you want to do. If you want to work for a network or for a team or be an agent, there's so many different opportunities out there. So we did that, which was fun. And
awesome.
I also started a scholarship with Barry University, so I got to meet my first recipient of that scholarship, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's gotta feel awesome. That's just
it was cool. It was cool. It's I was lucky enough to receive a couple of those, those smaller scholarships, and those help, when you're in college trying to put together money for all the stuff college entails. So I was able to receive a couple of those. So it was important to me to be able to do that for my alma mater as well. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. And we do support and advocacy group work with these programs that are, 10 toes down in the community.
That's awesome, man.
Joy,
that's awesome.
You're doing great things, Joy. Continue to do it. We appreciate your time. Like I said, I am, you're a mentor of mine. So thank you so much, man. I study everything that you do. Also, New York Revival, we're all about the women, the ladies. We have daughters, etc. At least speaking for me. So I want to promote as much positivity around women as possible. In fact, to announce it, we're going to be hosting a Ladies First podcast where we're going to have the ladies of the industry come in, where the ladies of podcast world is going to come and talk. So, Joy, I would hope that we get you back on there just where we can have a Ladies First podcast with you. They can talk to you and a bunch of other people that we admire, the ladies in this industry that they can talk to as well. So hopefully you can come back on and do that. But Joy, thank you. Thank you
so much.
And we do appreciate it, man, and keep killing it. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me. Happy to come on for that. And I'm not that hard to reach.
in our minds, you are though. So you have to be. You're up there. So we gotta.
You're like.
It was high for us.
No, I'm for the people.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear.
Joy, I'm gonna need a favor, but I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes here once we go off the air because I want it to be a surprise. But if we can get it done,
I lost you again there.
I said I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes because I'm gonna need a favor from you. So we'll talk to you behind the scenes here if you don't mind. That is. But guys, thank you for watching New York Revival with our special guest Joy Taylor. You're gonna see many more. Joy Taylor has keys to this place. All our guests get keys to New York Revival, and they get to come back on anytime and talk about everything. This is what it's for. Yes. So guys, on behalf of Mr. El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, Speed, if you nasty now. And Joy Taylor and your boy Eli Rax, aka Vibes. We thank you so much. Peace and blessings. Have a good night.
Peace.